From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the daily news for December 8th, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. Donald Trump is angry that Representative Henry Cuellar is running again as a Democrat rather than switch parties after the president pardoned the Texas congressman and his wife in a federal bribery and conspiracy case. Trump blasted Cuellar for, quote, such a lack of loyalty, end quote, suggesting the Republican president might have expected the clemency to bolster the GOP's narrow House majority heading into the 2026 midterm elections. Cuellar, in a television interview Sunday after Trump's social media post, said he was a conservative Democrat willing to work with the administration to see where we can find common ground. The congressman said he had prayed for the president and the presidency at church that morning, because if the president succeeds, the country succeeds. Citing a fellow Texas politician, the late President Lyndon Johnson, Cuellar said he was an American, Texan, and Democrat in that order. I think anybody that puts party before their country is doing a disservice to their country, he told Fox News Channel's Sunday Morning Futures. Turning to news from New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani posted a video to social media on Sunday explaining immigrants' right to refuse to speak to or comply with agents from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement days after federal agents carried out a raid in Manhattan. In the video, Mamdani vowed to protect the city's 3 million immigrants, saying, "We can all stand up to ICE if you know your rights." He explained that people in the U.S. can choose not to speak to federal immigration agents, film them without interfering, and refuse their requests to enter private spaces. ICE agents cannot enter spaces like a home, school, or private area of a workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge, Mamdani said. ICE is legally allowed to lie to you, but you have the right to remain silent. If you're being detained, you may always ask, "Am I free to go?" repeatedly until they answer you, said Mamdani, who will be sworn in as mayor on January 1st. In news from Hong Kong, about a third of Hong Kong's registered voters elected a new 90-member legislature Sunday, a turnout that avoided an embarrassment for the government but fell short of a ringing endorsement of an electoral system revamp that eliminated the once feisty opposition in the Chinese territory. The turnout rate reached 31.9%, surpassing the 30.2% in the 2021 election. The first held under the new system. It was much lower than before the electoral changes when turnout topped 50%. Many of the city's 4.1 million eligible voters, especially democracy supporters, have turned away from politics since a crackdown that has stifled dissent. Candidates must now go through a vetting process that ensures they are patriots who are loyal to the Chinese government. The government says the changes were needed to bring stability after massive anti-government protests in 2019. The government launched a major campaign to drive up turnout, adding polling stations, extending voting hours, and holding candidate forums. But public anger over government accountability in an apartment fire that killed at least 159 people late last month threatened to keep some potential voters at home. And in Pennsylvania news, a man died after crashing his car into a building in Allentown, Pennsylvania, early Sunday morning, not long after state police said he hit two troopers with his truck and drove off. Pennsylvania State Police said officers tried to pull over a 27-year-old Allentown man just before 12:15 a.m., but the driver didn't stop. Police followed the driver until he pulled over near Lehigh Street and 29th Street, at which point Pennsylvania State Police said the troopers got out of their patrol car to take the man into custody. The driver then hit the troopers with his Ford truck before fleeing from the scene, Pennsylvania State Police said. The two troopers were able to get back into their patrol vehicle and chase down the driver, who eventually lost control near 12th Street and Voltry Street. According to state police, the man hit a fire hydrant, utility police and the Lehigh Valley Logistics Building on South 12th Street and was ejected from the truck. Pennsylvania State Police said the troopers provided medical aid at the scene of the crash. Both officers and the driver were then taken to an area hospital where the driver was pronounced dead. The Lehigh County Coroner's Office said Sunday that the driver's identity won't be publicly released until an autopsy is complete. The troopers were treated and released from the hospital. Police did not say why the troopers initially tried to pull over the 27-year-old driver. And that's the news at this hour. If you are watching the video version of our news content on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. One programming note, today at 4 p.m. we will be airing a special episode of American History Tellers about the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. We hope you will join us as our way of honoring the U.S. Armed Forces entry into World War II. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.